Well, I'm back, and I was hoping my first episode back would be with the entire crew, but sadly Chris is not going to be with us tonight. But on that note, I'd like to tip my cap to Christina, Saba, and Chris for putting together two really, really amazing episodes in my absence. They were fucking great, guys. I really, really enjoyed them. I hope everybody listening to this enjoyed them just as much as I did. That cold open of about Agent Blake's briefcase and talking about it at length, that was fucking gold. Hats off, guys. That was awesome. Now, before we jump in the episode, I just want to say what a couple of weeks it's been for fanboys, fangirls, and fan persons alike. Not only did we get Disney Plus with The Mandalorian, but we got Fallen Order, and there's something else. What was the other big thing? Oh, that's right. # release the Snyder Cut. Let's start the show.
Meanwhile, back on the podcast, four colossal nerds named Saba, Chris, Christina, and Frank have set out to take on a great darkness that has enveloped the world of fandom. With their powers of common sense and the strength to take on even the most butthurt Twitter mobs and insufferable comment section trolls, they fight for truth, objectivity, and nuance in the conversation and debate over fictional made-up shit.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Meanwhile Back on the Podcast. I'm Frank.
I'm Christina.
I'm Saba.
And we have got a great show lined up for you today. Thank you for tuning in. We are continuing our after show of Watchmen. I think we're doing episode 5? Right?
Yeah, I think about it.
That's what we're in. Right. Okay. Right. We're episode 5. And the title of it was something about lightning. Fuck me.
Little fear of
Little
lightning.
fear of lightning. There we go. Look at me doing all my great research. I'm great at this job, aren't I, guys?
But I will tell you, the titles are kind of like, they're interesting, but they're not easy to remember.
They're awesome titles.
Yeah.
The last one was amazing. She was killed by space junk.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that's great.
I think the last one was if you don't know my story, if you don't like my story, write your own.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Maybe that was one before. See, I'm getting confused too. Great titles though.
Yes. Number 4 was that was number 4. Is if you don't like the story, write your own. That was number 4. I'm pretty sure. Anyhow, enough talking about the titles and how good I am at researching and being prepared for this show. So just want to touch on a couple of quick news bites that were kind of percolating in the great world of fandom while I was in Las Vegas, because that's where I was, guys. I missed the show. I'm glad to be back. I got stranded in Las Vegas for 16 hours. It sucked balls.
It was not a hangover story.
Where were
it was
you
not like
driving
The Hangover.
From? You said you blew a tire or something? Where were
No,
you?
the plane blew a tire.
Oh, the plane blew a tire. Oh, I thought you were driving from somewhere to somewhere.
No. So what happened is Air Canada, they were flying
You're just
in.
calling them out.
I'm totally calling them out. Fuck that shit. So Air Canada, and McCarran International Airport. So what happened was Air Canada was supposed to land at 11:30. We're supposed to board our plane at 12:30, and I think we're supposed to fly out. No, wait, sorry. No, we were supposed to fly out at 11:30, and then we got a notice that it was going to be 1 o'clock, and the reason was mechanical issues. So we dug a little deeper, and it turned out that they blew a tire, I think, when they landed at McCarran. Now, McCarran typically has a backup tire, so if anything like this happens, they're prepared for it. But they didn't have one this time. So they had to fly one in from fucking Vancouver.
Whoa,
of all places.
That's so far to get a tire.
To get a goddamn tire.
You just keep a spare in the boot,
In the boot?
In the trunk. Is that what they call it?
That's what the English call it. They call it a boot. Okay. Yeah.
You would figure the plane would have its own spare tire.
Exactly.
But I guess it's not like as easy. It's not like you're going to get like your wrench and you're going to lift it up a bit. And
yeah, but they're going to land somewhere eventually. They land so many times in a day.
Yeah, it's weird that it flew in from Vancouver. That is a lot.
And the funniest thing about this whole exchange is we were told that they tried to proceed with just the one tire.
I feel
they were actually going to try that. Right, but an axle needs to be balanced, right? If you have an axle in the middle, you need something to balance out the weight.
Depends on which
the
tire.
weight distribution.
I know, this is the engineer talking, being like, maybe you could do it.
Isn't there 3 tires on a plane?
This is the car guy talking. So what? Sorry.
Isn't it like 3 tires on a plane?
So
the front tire is by itself.
Okay, so a plane has 3 different sets of landing gear, right?
Okay.
Front and the 2 wings. That's typically
Yeah,
I
yeah.
believe for this model of plane, that was the
Yeah,
the
which
setup.
one was it missing? That one is important because if it was like the middle, that's bad. But if it's one of the wings, I could see them still being able to do it.
My guess is the front. That's
Okay. From
that's my guess.
my expert opinion of having never flown before, I think I could. I'm playing a lot of Star Fox and other games.
Maybe if they moved everybody to one side of the plane.
Yeah, exactly.
Let everybody on this side of the plane stand up and go
Load
sit over
balancing,
there.
I think it's called. I think that the rappers coined that.
I've had to do that on a plane before, on a small plane. It always terrifies me every time. They're like, "Excuse me, can everybody on this side of the plane move here?" Yeah,
That's not legit.
Yeah,
it
little
happens.
planes.
It
Yeah,
happens. It
sometimes
totally
they have to
happens.
load balance it if there's
Yeah.
not enough people on
Yeah.
the plane.
Damn.
It's so scary. I'm like,
Yeah.
what plane is this? Why?
It totally fucking happens. So they tried to make it go with the one tire, and then we get to the airport, and then we get another pushback to 3:00, and we're like, okay, what's the explanation this time? You guys have fixed the tire, the fucking plane's on the tarmac ready to go, and they're like, oh, the flight crew walked off. They
were like,
the fucking
they're
flight
like,
attendants.
fuck that, we're
right?
out.
They're like, we're going to bed. We don't want to stay up for
Exactly.
20 hours.
And they're in fucking Vegas, of all places,
Oh,
right?
But also, you don't actually know how long they were on shift for. 'cause
Exactly.
They probably came from somewhere else, so God knows how long those people were away.
Exactly. So the front desk and the McCarran desk agent, because the McCarran desk agents are independent of the airlines, and they only wear their uniforms to be behind the desks. That's it, right? To kind of maintain some consistent brand presentation, right?
Yeah.
And the McCarran desk agents told us that they walked off the flight without telling anybody, right?
They just like left. Like,
So-
see you guys.
Yeah. So
Because they're unionized. That's what happens when you have a union. I'll get fired if I do that.
exactly. So everything gets pushed back to 6:00 in the morning, right? And we're like, fuck, what the fuck? Like, we're just trying to figure out what the hell we're gonna do. So we decided to go back to the Hard Rock Hotel. They gave us a rack room rate, so we could sleep for a couple hours, and then we came back. But we found out that our flight got pushed to 1. Then we get to the airport, and we actually run into the flight attendants. And the flight attendants, we asked them specifically face to face. We're like, what happened? Why did you guys walk off the flight? They're like, we didn't walk off the flight. We timed out. Like, we legally can't get on
Yeah.
that plane and be a part of that crew. Like, we timed out.
No, for sure.
Right?
It makes
Because
sense.
they have to
so.
sleep.
So McCarran was making up all this bullshit, trying to kind of placate everybody. But it was just a fucking massive clusterfuck. It was just horrible. So we flew it at like 1 PM or some shit. It was the fucking worst. But anywho, they gave us some coupons for future flights.
I mean, that makes everything better. Coupons.
No.
Every time I have flight issues, it's always Air Canada. I try
Yeah.
to avoid them when I'm booking.
Yeah.
I'm
If I
going
can-
to say the opposite. I actually haven't had issues with Air Canada.
Yeah. Well, you're lucky.
So,
you're
you
lucky.
know.
They tried with food vouchers at first too. They gave us like $80 worth of food vouchers,
No.
and everything was closed. Like, everything was fucking closed. Me and my buddy had a salad at Carl's Jr. at like 1:00 in the morning. It was the grossest thing ever. It was horrible. Anywho, yeah. So back to geek stuff. So there's a lot of momentum building behind the Snyder Cut stuff. You guys have seen this?
Yeah, Frank, we've seen it.
Gal Gadot.
No,
They're
Frank,
like,
keep
this
going.
shit again? They're like, come on, man.
I call it Frank's hard on for the Spider-Verse. We're back to talking about
Okay,
it.
we're back to like a few hours, a few minutes of video footage. Is that what they're after?
What? No. What? No. Gal Gadot has come forward. She's calling for it. Ben Affleck is calling for it.
It's a hashtag, like hashtag release the Snyder Cut.
Release the Snyder
Yeah,
Cut.
so it's his cut, right? So it has
Yeah.
some extra footage.
No, it doesn't have like a couple minutes of extra footage. It's literally a completely different movie.
Yeah,
literally a
it
completely
will be
different
different
movie.
considering
Yeah.
like the story, like he
Yeah.
left midway through and he had like
Yeah.
a storyline, and then Josh Whedon came in.
Yeah.
So I could believe that it's like different.
Yeah.
for sure.
I don't think it's that
So-
different. I don't believe it.
You stop that, okay?
Okay, go Frank, go.
Okay, so Zack Snyder is saying, you remember the nightmare scene, Batman scene
Yeah,
in BVS and in
when
Batman v
he's like, has that
Superman?
dream and he's like,
Yeah.
what- yeah.
So that's what all this was building to, right? So so Justice League was going to be 2 parts. It was going to be like a 2-part film. So BVS starts the story, Justice League 1 and Justice League 2.
It still
Right?
sounds like a disease to me. When
And
Yeah, if you have BVS, Please control. Please no. Sorry. No, keep going. But yeah, we know like it was supposed to be like this whole thing, and it was supposed to be 5 movies.
Yes.
And that didn't come to be.
Yes.
For whatever
and we are going to have a whole episode where we walk you through what the plot was going to be, because it's fucking fantastic and it's awesome. And we wouldn't have the DC fucking clusterfuck that we have right now.
I'm still
if
convinced
that story
it's mostly fight-y.
It's not fighting.
The thing is because we haven't seen it and people are really talking it up. And that's also an issue too. Because then you haven't seen it and everyone's like, this cut will fix everything. It'll like cure cancer.
Yeah.
Like they're making it, you know what I mean? Like, but I just haven't.
Yeah.
Like if it does come out, I'm so down to watch it.
I'm down to watch it.
I'll watch
and then
it.
I'll
Of
tell you if
course.
it's different.
Yeah.
It's going to be totally
if it comes
different.
out, Frank will like, I don't even know what'll
Give it a
happen.
chance. I'll give it a chance.
Yeah, if it comes out, I don't know
can't
what
get
the fuck I'm
excited
going
for
to do.
it. The
Oh,
way
Chris
you're
isn't even
excited
here
for
to
it, though.
like talk shit about it.
Talk shit about what?
No, but I'm just
He wouldn't
joking.
talk shit about
No,
it. He actually
wouldn't.
likes Snyderverse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and okay, so moving on from Snyderverse, I'm really excited about that, obviously. Hopefully it happens. I think with HBO Max hitting the market, I think it completely makes sense.
So have they gotten additional signatures? What's like the update on that?
So, well, they had 400,000 signatures on the petition,
Yeah,
the
that's
first
quite a
one,
bit.
right? And they had an ad budget. Like, there's actually a group called Release the Snyder Cut, and they had an ad budget, and they ran
I saw
all
the
those
poster.
ads.
Yeah, I saw that.
Right? But now that you got Gal Gadot and Ben Affleck getting behind it, and I think, what's his face? A couple of the Marvel guys, Dave Bautista got behind it.
Oh, really?
And I think
'Cause I know like Jason Momoa is really behind it as well.
oh, Jason Momoa saw it.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
probably
he saw it.
So it must be in support of Snyder then.
Of course it is. Yeah, of course it is. Oh, the former DC head came out and she's like, this should happen because everybody's calling for it, and Zach was such a great guy to work with, and he was like a total gentleman about like the way that things kind of fucking came disconnected and all that shit. Like apparently he handled.
And he wants it too, Zach, because he
Of course
has
he
been
does.
tweeting.
He tweeted it too now.
He probably needed to step away at the time.
I think
Well,
obviously
we all
a
know
lot of
why
stuff
we all
happened.
know why
Yeah.
he needed to step away, right?
So he
Without revisiting
he
it.
probably didn't worry about it at the time.
Of course
at the time,
he
it's
didn't.
not what he was on
Of
his
course,
mind.
Yeah.
the last thing on his mind was finishing that fucking movie,
Exactly.
Yeah.
right? But I think in hindsight, I think he sees how much the fans want it, right? And now that he's like kind of like drip dropping these little breadcrumbs of what the story could have been, people just can't say no. They can't ignore it anymore, right? Like the Justice League movie we got was not what we deserved, right? Like I don't hate the Justice League movie as it is. I don't hate Joss Whedon's,
so.
right? But it was very Marvel-esque. It wasn't as dark as it could have been, right? But there was definitely some disconnections in the plot.
Yeah,
and fucking go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna say the villain. Like I just did not. I was like, this is too much for me. Like I never really like the villain. Wasn't like a villain that
He was a butler.
Yeah.
He was a butler in a costume like the entire time. Like
Yeah.
he just didn't strike me as someone imposing or even threatening, right? But the other thing is Joss Whedon, like he does that little thing that he does in all his movies. He has a human character in it, kind of on the outside of the story. Like you see in Avengers, there's the woman, the barista that Captain America saves, right? In the Avengers, there's in Age of Ultron, there's the mother and her kid in Sokovia.
Oh, I get it.
Right?
And so in this case, there was that
The family in Russia.
In Russia, they added that whole thing that wasn't there, and
Right.
they were like waiting under the table. Okay,
Yeah,
whatever. Okay.
and people are like, "Who the fuck is this family?
Who is
like,
this
what the hell's
family?
going
Who are
on?"
they?
But like, I get why he did it. He wanted to establish that Steppenwolf chose the most absolute remote place he possibly could,
Yeah.
where Cyborg couldn't find him. Right?
Also, like that's the one where they really badly CGI'd Henry Cavill's face.
Yes.
I was
Yeah.
like, damn, that looks so bad.
They literally started the movie with a goddamn cell phone video with CGI.
Yeah.
Like, not only is it just a cell phone video, it's a CGI cell phone video.
Well, I just don't understand
Right?
why they felt the need to rush. I hate that studios. I hate that timelines always have to be so.
This is a Marvel, really.
straight.
It's like that's their thing. It's like their competition. Like honestly, I think DCU had a good chance of having this full-fledged universe.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to rush up to something, which Marvel like has spent a long time and dedicated like years and years. It was like almost a decade before they got their movie where they're all together. Really, right?
Yeah.
And in this case, it's like so quick, and that can be an issue. And that's why
Yeah.
I think we see like with Arrowverse or like with the animated movies. There's kind of like have a better chance of like tying in the stories
Right.
because they spend a lot of time on it.
Right.
Whereas like,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I think the thing that DC needs to get better at is letting their creatives just be creative, right?
because this isn't the first time they interfered with a Zack Snyder film, right? It's not the first time. Like, they interfered with BVS because we got the theatrical cut. It sucked shit. Everybody hated it. Then they released the director's cut or the ultimate edition or whatever the hell you want to call it. And everybody's like, holy fuck, this movie's way better. Like, it actually makes sense now, right? We can actually connect the little Machiavellian kind of moves that Luther was making throughout the movie, right? So clearly, if you let the creatives be creative, they're going to do a fucking better job and they're going to deliver for you. Because that's what Marvel does, you know?
Marvel, that's one thing I like. Kevin Feige does give them the chance to do, like, you
Exactly.
know, they have like different flavors. Like Taika Waititi's Ragnarok was like very different and off.
It was crazy. It was one of the most ambitious things Marvel's ever done, without a doubt. It was
awesome.
Right. They turned Shakespearean, Jedi talking Thor into, like, literally, one of the most captivating characters in the Marvel universe by just giving him a better personality and making him more grounded and more modern, right? Mm-hmm. They modernized the guy, and it became more interesting. So, okay, that's enough with the Snyder stuff. We're definitely doing an episode at some point about that, because, like, I really want to dive into that shit. The other big stuff coming out of DC is Andy Serkis is rumored to be casted as Alfred in the new Batman. Yeah.
Andy Serkis, so he's the guy who, like, he does a lot of the motion capture stuff. Yeah. Like, he was like Golem and like Lord of the Rings.
Greatest.
But he was also in Marvel Universe.
Yep.
He played
Claw.
Who was like in Black Panther and like all that other stuff.
Yep.
I think he's like a really good like character actor.
Fantastic
and he
character
like
actor.
can do a lot of cool stuff with his bodies.
Yeah.
What else was he? Wasn't he like in? He's like a whole bunch of motion captured creatures.
He was
Kong?
Yeah. No. Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes and stuff. Yeah, he's a great actor.
Yeah.
Like, I think he would be good.
Yeah,
like, he can.
Yeah, I think he'll do a good job. And then Colin Farrell's rumored to be cast as the Penguin.
Oh,
that's interesting.
I saw that too. Yeah, I like that. It's a different take. It's not what you're thinking, and I kind of like that.
Isn't Colin Farrell too pretty boy to be Penguin?
I mean, he's kind of past his pretty boy face. Not that he's not pretty, but it's not like they cast.
Holy
like,
shit! Fucking pull him down, eh? Just like
no,
get off your high horse.
I'm
buddy.
just trying to think. Like, it's not like he's someone who's considered pretty now. I don't even know.
Yeah,
someone young.
Cavill, you like Cavill?
Oh, Henry Cavill does have a nice face. I mean, that's just like, he has a very nice face. You can't really deny that fact. I think Colin Farrell might be interesting. He's a good actor too. I'm excited for like, who they cast as Catwoman, which is Zoe.
Zoe.
Isabel Kravitz. I love her.
I think she'll do a good job.
Yeah. I think Zoe would be good. And I saw, one of our favorite websites to kind of keep an eye on is WeGotThisCovered.com, right?
That's Frank's favorite.
Okay, I like that stuff. Okay,
because I follow fandom a lot.
Yes, you do. I like speculation, and they speculate a lot, and apparently a lot of their shit's come true. We got to give them that, okay? But they do come true. Like, a lot of their shit does come true. Anywho, one of their reports was talking about the Batgirl had been cast.
Oh, Barbara Gordon?
Yes.
Oh, I think I saw her.
However, they fucked up. They fucked up big, because the person that they named in the cast is this woman from Broadway, and she's a woman of color. Her name's Jamie Lawson.
Okay.
But she's been cast as and the news is already out. She's been cast as a political candidate
inside the
in
Batman
the story.
Movie.
In the story, right? So she's not Batgirl. So people were fucking losing their mind.
Yeah.
They were like, holy shit.
People lose their mind real quick these days.
Yeah. So, okay, me personally,
that's why speculating is funny.
Exactly. Exactly. Me personally, I don't think I could do a person of color Batgirl for my first movie. Okay, I just don't think I could do it.
I don't think it matters anymore.
No, it does matter. It completely does matter. It matters to the people who own the original intellectual property and who designed the character.
I mean,
and have
you
put
could
their
say
life and their blood into it.
You could say the same thing about like Alan Moore and Watchmen right now.
You could,
because like they're taking his thing that he clearly doesn't want and changing it.
Yes,
and I don't know if that's like the case either. Me personally, again, like I'm probably with Christina with this, it wouldn't be a big deal to me if they changed it. I don't
think it's a big deal.
I get that, guys, but like I just have to say
I understand like your nostalgia with the character.
Like I prefer it if they keep things the same, but I think it still works if they change things most of the time, and they don't always have to explain it. It depends on who they depends on the character and whether or not that's important for their background.
I think story justification needs to become a more important thing. Okay, we talked about this when we were talking about Magneto potentially being Denzel Washington, right? if they made that change, it
It's
changes
difficult.
something so fundamentally important about that character.
So that's something I'll give you for sure. If the character is very deeply tied to its race or its background,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I understand. So for like Magneto, like a lot of his character's informed from the Holocaust and being like, from like sort of his Jewish heritage, right?
But they can update the issue that he has with society, right? They can modernize that and change it too.
I'm an idiot. Hold on a second. Let's back up here. If they're casting Jeffrey Wright
That's what I was thinking. I was just
as
about to
James
say that.
Gordon,
Then there's no way.
then Batgirl would have to be an African American.
That's what I was thinking, or at least mixed race.
Why am I fucking idiot?
That's what I was thinking. I was gonna bring that up because I was like, Jeffrey Wright is that, and also like, I think either that or like mixed race probably. Like she probably because
Yeah. Oh Jesus Christ! What
But
the
we'll
fuck's wrong
see
with
who
me?
that we'll see who they will end
Yeah.
up. We don't really know, but I did see that they casted this woman as political candidate,
Yeah.
which I think is interesting, as well. Especially, I feel like it's going to mirror a lot of our current day world, which I do like when like because Batman is very topical into like society and sort of these corrupt cities and corrupt politicians is like a big part of it too. And
Yeah, I'm okay with them updating backstories as long as it makes sense with like current political climate or something. If there's a reason, I'm okay with it.
Well, listen, if we do get a Batgirl for this movie, you have to be prepared. It's going to be a woman of color. I'm sorry. Like, that would be so stupid if they did an African American James Gordon and then gave us a white Batgirl. That's fucking stupid. Unless there was like some kind of explanation for it that actually made sense. Like he was the adopted daughter of like, so prepare for this shit. Just be prepared.
the other thing too is though, I'm pretty sure Batgirl is going to be in the same Matt Reeves universe.
Well, they're not.
Or are they?
Yes, she is going to be in the same Matt Reeves universe, but they're not saying she will be in this movie.
Yeah.
They're also saying Nightwing. They're also saying Robin.
Oh, I would love to see a Nightwing movie.
I want to see a Nightwing movie too because I'm actually starting to like that character more now because of Titans and all that. So,
Chris loves Nightwing as well.
Oh, he does.
Chris.
He does. He sent me an email money transfer once, and the password was the hint was what does Nightwing throw? And I was like, what?
Don't tell people what Chris uses for his email money transfer.
No,
passwords.
he doesn't use it all the time, obviously. And he actually has to
change it. Change your question. Change your question, Chris.
I hope you already accepted the money.
Of course I did. And you actually have to get sent the email to accept it. Like that's
people can intercept your email.
That's a pretty foolproof system. Yeah. But apparently Disney Plus is getting hacked too. Anyways.
Yeah.
So
that was like the first thing people did is hack it.
Yeah.
Were you in that first batch of hacked credit cards?
No, I think I'm okay. I put everything on PayPal now.
You know what?
Because it's the second line of defense a little bit.
Yeah.
Not that they haven't gotten hacked. They've gotten hacked too, but
I don't even care. The bank is going to give you your money back if
True.
you get hacked. So whatever.
True.
It doesn't come out of my pocket.
And this is coming from an industry professional. So we have the comfort of that. Speaking of Disney Plus, who got lost in goddamn Disney Plus? Because I got lost in Disney Plus.
I did not. I got it yesterday.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I've been like I haven't watched a lot on it, but I have been scrolling on it a lot. And me and my brother were scrolling on it and be like, oh, Ultimate Spider-Man. Oh, like we saw the X-Men, and then the one thing we freaked out over. We watched the X-Men like opening because we're like we have to do this.
Yeah.
The one thing that we freaked out over, which is a show called Gargoyles, which I don't know if anyone else
freaked
watched.
out about gargoyles?
Oh my gosh, we were obsessed with Gargoyles, and I thought that girl was so cool. And like a lot of people don't even know what bring it up, and they're like, I'm like, do you remember that cartoon show about gargoyles? And everyone's like, no. And the fact that they had it, I was like so happy.
I remember this. I think I used
the girl
to watch that.
Also she was kind of like brownish, so I kind of liked her for that reason because I was a young girl and I was like, oh, this is cool. She kind of maybe could look like me. But I thought that was really cool.
Funny.
But I think there's a lot in there, and then I'm gonna give the login to like my nieces and nephew, which could be a mistake. But
You didn't hear that, Bob Iger.
Yeah. Sorry. I know. They're my niece and nephew. They can get it, okay?
Yeah, fuck you, man.
Yeah, they're children.
Family.
They can't pay.
They can get it. Yeah. I watched the Silver Surfer cartoon because I just want I've never been clear on the origin.
I've never watched it.
Yeah. It's okay. There are Kree and Skrulls, and the Skrulls looks like a giant green chicken.
That's funny.
Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. The Kree looks okay, but they all have that standard stupid like Lego spaceman uniform.
Yeah.
You know that thing?
I think so.
And honestly, it kind of I don't know. It kind of killed the Kree a little bit for me. But surfers.
Isn't that what they wear in the comic?
Yeah, they did at the beginning. Yeah. But they've got an interesting. He's really got an interesting origin story. Like definitely like real sacrifice story. I really, really liked it. Anywho, we're digressing here. Let's get into episode 5 of The Watchmen. It's called what again?
It's called, give me 1 second. Okay, it's called Little Fear of Lightning.
Little Fear of Lightning.
Do you like how quick we are, guys?
All right. So I gotta say, this opening scene was one of the most, like, this is just as powerful as the Tulsa. Obviously not something that we can kind of connect to our real history, but powerful in terms of establishing where this, like, how we got to the place where we're at. This is the first time we've actually seen the effects of this psychic squid attack on this world.
Because as of now,
right?
It's just been kind of comical to us in a sense.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
Oh, the squid like landed in
It's always been
New
a joke.
York.
Like, it's literally always been a joke. And I think that's why Zack Snyder didn't take it seriously and did the Dr. Manhattan bombs thing with the film, right? Like, it was more of a better play for him, and I can see why. But if he did it this way, holy shit, man. Those people were decimated.
Yeah, I think I think it's an important story element that everybody was kind of manipulated in a way by Veidt.
Well, let's not. Well, that's the reveal for the end. Let's talk about the scene, though. Let's talk about the scene.
So the scene there, like, he's coming in with his
Bible
group
people,
and like missionaries of sorts.
Yep.
Sort of sending their message. And right away I was saying, like, I knew it was Looking Glass. Like, I could just feel like it like felt like him.
Yeah.
You know, he had that vibe. And then he's going in and he's kind of working up the courage, and he like meets this girl, and she takes him into a fun house. She's cute.
Yeah.
She takes him
first she saves him from the mean guys.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think she was part of that gang. And did you guys recognize that's the same gang from the film? The Top Knots.
Oh, I did
are
not.
they? I did not.
Remember when Laurie and when Silk Spectre and Night Owl kicked their ass in the alley?
Yeah.
When they're like in street clothes after dinner?
Okay.
That's the Top Knots.
Well, she misled.
So same gang.
She misled him because she was like, "Leave him alone, guys."
Yeah.
And then she like pulled him away.
I know.
From
Great
the guys.
manipulation.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Really,
manipulation.
I was, because it made it so much more shocking.
Yeah.
And then also I was like really uncomfortable because like she was like talking about like are you a virgin, whatever else. And then the thing I hated when he was like stop and she's like no, and I was like, oh, I do not like that.
I didn't like that.
I was like ugh, like it just makes me feel like so icky.
Yeah.
You know. And then, I mean...
But she didn't do it. She didn't do what we thought she was going to do.
Yeah, she did something, like, also... Either way, she didn't do anything...
Well, he had a misfire. That's why she bailed, right?
No, she was planning to take his clothes and run the whole time.
No, I think he misfired.
No, I don't think he did at all.
No, she didn't do anything. Yeah.
Agree to disagree.
She just robbed him.
Because she was like... Because she had that comment after that, like, really mean comment.
Yeah.
Right? So it was like she, like, planned
Screw
this whole
you,
thing.
Bible boy. Right.
Yeah.
But I think he misfired and she didn't take it well. And that was the end result of it.
I think, like, what were you expecting from him?
Yeah, why would she have been mad about... Like not finishing giving him head or something.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe
no. She's not mad about that.
Maybe she actually thought he was cute. Maybe she was actually interested.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
Jury says no.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I think she was planning to rob him the whole time.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
But anyway, we'll see. Well, I mean,
I don't think we're in a continuation of the story.
I think she's gone.
We'll really deep dive into that next week's episode.
Let's bring this girl back to life and ask her what she's thinking.
But then that, like, you know, he looks in the mirror with such hatred is the thing. Like, he was like, you're a sinner. And, like, he's so, like, angry at himself.
Yeah.
I think he was that was the point. He was angry at himself for falling for it.
You deserve this. Yeah.
Obviously, he was told about the sinners and the things that they might do.
Yeah.
And, like, he fell for the pretty face.
Yeah.
And he believed that, you know.
He's a dude.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. But, like, when you... It's like... It's like staring into... Yeah.
And so that's why he was mad at himself, because he knew that he kind of was a little bit interested.
Yeah.
And, like, that's why he was calling himself a sinner.
Yeah.
But it turns out all those mirrors saved his life.
And
yes.
Yeah. Also, it's so interesting, too. I was like, wow, the fact that...
That's good writing. That's really good writing.
That was good.
Yeah. Sorry, Sabo, you're saying?
Oh, no, I was like, that's like, it's the whole circle connects of like him being Looking Glass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then when he runs out of there, and then, you know, just like the massacre.
The devastation, man.
Yeah.
devastation.
I love that there's a reason for his mask, actually.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
The music choices, come on.
Yes, the music was really
How good was
George
that?
Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah. Careless Whispers.
How good.
This is just something for my mom. That's my mom's like favorite song.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking favorite song. Like she
It's a great
listens to it
song.
all the time. It's her ringtone. When George Michael passed away, it was around Christmas time. I was home for the holidays. We listened to it every day, and she would look at the TV and say, "I'm so sad."
Oh my
So
God.
like,
Oh my God.
and they had
Wow.
that song played 3 times in this show.
Yeah.
3 times this episode they played it.
Yeah.
I noticed there was some classical music at different points in time too, and then I feel like the music was with the decade, so whatever decade we're in, they kind of give us music that goes with that, or else the classical music. I felt like they used it at intense moments.
Yeah.
There would just be like cool classical music in the background.
The crazy part about that scene is, so you see like Looking Glass, or at this time he's not Looking Glass, but you see him like looking at everything and being like, what's going on? And he's screaming and sort of panning out, and it pans to the city, and then you just see this like squid
Fucking huge.
like in the middle of like I
Dropped
guess
on a building.
like in New York, Manhattan, somewhere.
and everything's on fire. The world is on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just like terrifying. I was like,
Yeah.
how traumatic would this be? And like, you know, we'll talk about later in the episode, but I think the next scene that cuts to now is it a commercial for New York? Is that the next scene right after?
So he's in so it's like a commercial for New York for people trying to engage people to move back, visit, just trying to boost tourism, right? And it's a typical kind of marketing what do you call it? Like research type of group.
Yeah.
And they're giving their feedback, and then they cut behind the glass, and there's Looking Glass. I guess he does double duty as a bullshit detector. And
it's
a
also his
detective.
cover, right?
Yeah.
Because they all have to have day jobs. So that's his cover.
True. Word. I totally forgot about that part.
Yeah.
So he's there, and he's providing intel back to the company that hired him, and he's telling them that, they filled out their little papers that say that they really like this, but truth is, they're all fucking terrified. And I really liked his explanation, because it was based on like fragile male ego, which is probably something that's very present in this world at this time. And they're all like, what straight white guy in Oklahoma is going to tell you he's scared of something? Like, it's just not going to happen, right? So that was definitely interesting. And he kind of has this very soothsayer kind of vibe to him as he's explaining to them. Like he almost kind of can intuit the truth. It's not like he sees it. It's almost like he intuits it, which is kind of cool, I think. And then they jump to, isn't Looking Glass going back to, or like, isn't it him starting his daily routine?
Yeah, his daily routine
with the storage unit, the 2 cars, his mask in the box.
Yeah.
And then we see him go back to his house, and he's one of these kind of prepper types that looks like.
Yeah, with like the bunker and everything else.
Yeah.
And this is where you're seeing now like the amount of trauma that this event has
Yeah.
caused.
Yeah.
Right? And how, psychologically, like how terrifying that must have been.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you talk about like anxiety and everything. And right now, like in our generation, there's like a lot of anxiety and stuff like that. But they have this like sort of other traumatic experience, and you see people who weren't even alive then still scared by it. Like it's called like the extra dimensional security.
There's a whole business based around this. Yeah.
Also, is that the scene where he's watching like the show Minuteman?
That's a little later.
Okay, we'll get to that.
Yeah, what the fuck happened there?
We'll get to that.
Yeah, what the fuck happened? I actually have a theory about that.
Yeah. But the extra dimensional security, like, is, like it's a whole market now too, because people, obviously, you make money off fear.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is that I like the fact that they juxtaposition all this with what the United States looked like during the Cold War, right? There were all these companies during the Cold War that were building you bunkers and providing you food rations and, setting you up if the bombs ever dropped, right? And they kind of translated this over. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they translated this over into something more tangible in this world. Like, it's more about this extra dimensional threat. And it's clearly playing a massive role in the way that people are going throughout their daily lives,
Yeah. With him too, the fact that you find that everything is under foil.
Yeah.
Too. It's not just his mask, it's his hat.
food.
Yeah, like everything that he does, like it shapes, like this event has shaped so much of who he is.
Yep.
You know, and then when we see him next, I'm trying to like remember chronologically like what happens after he does like the bunker, the thing goes off, right?
Yep.
And he's trying to like turn it off, and he's like calling the people and being like,
funny.
you're like messed, like it's broken, like I need it, whatever, and like we can get to you by Thursday, and like he's like, no, I need it like right away. Like,
well, because they asked him how often do you test it. It's supposed to be like once every couple months or something.
And he's doing it like
clearly
all the
doing
time.
it like multiple times a day.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he's obsessed. He's obsessed and
Yeah,
he's terrified
so he has, like,
all the time.
OCD. Because he can't get through a day without like...
I wouldn't call it OCD. I'd call it probably just kind of like fear-induced behavior, right?
Yeah.
Because like he doesn't seem obsessive
and paranoia.
Yeah, he's paranoid as
it's
fuck
paranoid.
for sure. He's paranoid as fuck.
It seemed obsessive to me. He had a log, and
he
like,
does have like an there's like
Yeah.
like if we're going to diagnosis, like he's got like a lot of shit that he is like not worked out, and we'll later
and the
on
fact that he couldn't wait a few days for the thing to come to him.
Yeah, he was willing to pay the same.
Yeah.
He was willing to pay the exact same price for the shipping, like pay the same value as he did for the machine.
Yeah,
to actually get it shipped
which
there
is
overnight.
like who knows how much of his paycheck.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. No, definitely significant for sure. And then we see him go into the precinct.
Oh my gosh, we see Panda.
Yeah, we see Panda.
I love hearing like small town talk.
And
Red, they're just like talking about you know what I mean? Like I love hearing their conversations because it's just like everyday like office conversations. Like you weren't just beating 7th Cavalry members like half to death.
Yeah.
Like a little while ago.
Yeah.
I like that.
And I also just love Panda.
Okay, and I also love Blake in this episode.
Oh, Blake was great. Just
Blake.
insisting that she was going to call him Mirror Guy instead of like Looking Glass.
Because when you think about it, how ridiculous is it if you were going to a place and they all have these code names and they want you and they like, because the thing is for Looking Glass, like he takes it so seriously. And it's like looking from the outside, if you're like Lori Blake, like, and even though she was Silk Spectre, like how ridiculous must it seem? Like just actually think about like a grown person being called like Sister Night. Like she made a joke about this. Is like, what, do you have like a thing with nuns, like or whatever? Like she said that in the last episode. It just seems so like crazy, and it's also like a power move too.
Yeah.
She's definitely exerting her alpha female
and
for sure.
Looking Glass knows that. He called her out on it. He says, it's Looking Glass, and then she calls him Mirror Guy anyway right after that.
Yeah,
so.
she's just doing it to break their spirit,
and
right?
she told him that she bugged his cactus in this scene.
Literally admitted it to him.
Yeah.
Because Angela
was talking about the pills.
And she's like, whatever, I'm the FBI. We bug shit. That's what we do.
Yeah,
I love that. Like she's like, this is not a big deal.
Like, don't be so surprised.
But she knew about like the 7th Cavalry stuff, or not 7th Cavalry, sorry, the like him being there.
Yep.
And I wonder what her take is on this experience too, because she must see like all these people who are like traumatized by like all this shit. And she knows the truth. I wonder if that's like a weird burden for her to carry at all. We haven't really seen it much. Like we haven't seen like the ache of it.
Right.
You know?
But she's also been like investigating these people the whole time. They're all suspects to her. So
that's true.
Yeah.
But Angela is like, so yeah, she's obviously suspicious of them, and I don't know what else she has bugged, but it seems like it's only like that cactus, right?
I think so.
Because she's like, what pills like are you talking about, right? And then he's like, this is like a medical thing, like whatever.
And I think it makes sense that she would like start bugging shit because she's already known that Sister Night is hiding things, and she already tried to interrogate Sister Night about it, and Sister Night wouldn't tell her the truth, and she knew that.
I wonder if she knew that like Looking Glass might,
might know more,
or might like turn in, because like anyway, we'll get to it.
It seemed like she knew. So
I don't think she has a good psychological read on him. I think he had a psychological break. That's why it ended the way that it ended.
Yeah.
We'll get to that point.
Well, she told him that the cactus was bugged and he didn't go throw it away.
No, he didn't. But I also think that he could have, like, he's the type of guy that would just feed it disinformation too.
Yeah.
Right? He's definitely got the wherewithal and the experience, and he seems like a smart enough tactician that if he really wanted to, he could probably push Agent Blake in the wrong direction, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He just kind of seems like that type of individual.
Mm-hmm. From here, does he go to visit his wife?
Yeah, he goes to visit his wife, and then
the pets. Oh my gosh!
What the fuck?
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
So clearly, cloning is like a major thing in this world, right?
Yeah.
Clearly.
Because like everyone who worked there were like clones as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were twins or like actual clones.
There's lots of clones.
I feel like that was part of their marketing. Like you
had to be a twin.
Yeah, or a clone to work here.
And then we see him put that poor puppy in the fucking incinerator.
Yeah, she was like, be honest, are they exactly the same? He's like, that one's smaller. And she's like, okay, bye.
Oh my goodness, that was so sad.
They don't even treat it like a life.
Yeah.
It was so cute.
Jesus Christ.
I know, that was crazy.
And that's why we don't have cloning, actually. There's like a whole ethical thing around it.
Yep.
Yeah.
The technology exists. We could have it.
I bet you there's some people being cloned right now as we speak.
Yeah.
You know?
So my take on Looking Glass is that his weakness is women.
100%.
Yeah.
That is very true.
Yeah. I think so.
Because
like even the way that he's dealt with Sister Night, like he knows that she's up to something that he doesn't quite know about, right?
Yeah.
And he's just kind of looking the other way and willing to do favors for her.
Well, they're friends.
Right?
But they're friends.
But
that's different.
Yeah, but he can still like listen. Like I know guys that just based on a simple sexual attraction, they will do things for women.
I don't think he's like doing it because he's attracted to her, though. I think he trusts her.
No, I think he trusts her too. But I'm saying I think that he can get to that point with women where he can have that kind of attraction to them and do things he wouldn't normally do.
So he's that guy that just hovers around in your friend zone hoping he gets action one day.
I think that's maybe part of his personality, to be honest.
But here's the thing.
But I don't think he sees himself that way.
This is what his wife said, though. His wife was like, I'm not going to like steal your clothing and run out in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
So that's what I think about more of his issues with women. I think that traumatic experience really informed his relationship
where
he couldn't trust people anymore.
For sure.
Like, that's more when I see him having, like, issue with women.
Yeah, like, he never got over it.
Yeah.
He said, for 7 years, I tried to convince you I wouldn't do that.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Right. And he said, and she's like, you could have women lined up, but you always want to go for the one that's going to punch you in the balls.
Yeah.
Right?
But then this is the thing that really gets to me when she's like, the pills are nostalgia. And I was like, okay. And it's like, they actually are memories.
Yeah.
Like, these pills are real.
They're member berries from South Park.
For sure. Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
got it. Okay, yeah, totally got that.
You don't watch South Park?
No, do
not.
Okay,
so member berries were actually a thing in one of the seasons of South Park. And what was happening is that's why Donald Trump was getting elected, because everybody's just being nostalgic. Anywho, literally when they said there was a bottle of nostalgia, like you could literally eat nostalgia pills, I was like, holy fuck, that's the most heavy-handed, like, commentary I've ever seen on our society as of late, because he's literally telling you could eat fucking memories to feel better about yourself.
But is it to feel
that's
better
what
about
everybody's
yourself?
doing in our society
Because
right now.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
okay.
you don't know what the memories are.
Because here's the thing.
That's
I'll tell
true.
you this. Last episode,
Yeah.
a Lady True's daughter was like, was eating the pills, and she's like, I woke up with a dream and I was walking through the village and my feet hurt, like they still hurt.
That's
and like
true.
it was a massacre, right?
Yeah.
And there was like some theories out there about the comedian and Lady True being somehow related or know each other because of like this whole
Because of Vietnam?
because of Vietnam.
Oh, shit.
My theory was that she's her clone.
Well, he killed his
and
baby
maybe
mama.
the memories are her memories from Vietnam.
Yeah, like that's like another thing as
That's
well.
my
that's
theory.
definitely
That's
like
my theory.
Yeah, no.
She's literally
definitely
trying to recreate herself, including all the memories, into
Yeah.
her daughter.
Yeah, no, she's definitely picking up her memories, right? Because
Yeah.
that definitely sounds like something that happens
Yeah.
in Vietnam.
Yeah.
That's not something that happens in North America,
No.
Yeah.
right?
And so that's the thing. They can either be like good or bad. I got like a real Harry Potter like pensive vibe, like pulling like the wand, you know, whatever. But the fact that like I think their Will's memories too,
right,
like, is what I think from the end of the episode, it seems like there are Will's memories. But yeah, I was like, how do you do that? Like, what do you get? How does that even
And they
happen?
did say it could lead to psychosis. So I think something's going to happen to Angela now.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
because they're not even her memories.
We'll definitely get to the end there, because
yeah.
I want to talk about like where do you guys think Angela's
Yeah.
going to go from here, right? Because she's not in a good fucking spot.
No.
That's for fucking sure, right?
Okay, wait. So we glossed over some things. So
We did?
well, didn't we? So okay, Blake uses the cactus to get Angela's.
Oh wait, no. Yeah, before that though, before that happens, what ends up happening is, so after they visit, he goes to like visit his wife.
He goes back home and he does the food and watches the superhero gay porn.
Gay porn, yeah.
with Hooded Justice.
Hooded Justice, yeah.
That was funny.
Aren't they? I'm trying to remember if they were. Weren't they gay?
No, I don't think so.
That was the thing, because someone got kicked out of the original Minutemen for being like a lesbian, and then
Yeah, no, she didn't get kicked out. She was openly lesbian. She got killed because she was openly lesbian.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I have to, whatever. We gotta look into that more. But yeah, I was like watching it and I was like, at first I was like, is he watching porn? I was like,
I thought it was porn.
I thought like
yeah.
Looking Glass was gay. Like I was like, are you like, and then he's like
well,
hiding it.
I
That's
actually
the
thought he was
thing.
like bi or something.
No,
but
that's the thing. I don't think he's gay.
No,
I
he's
think
not.
that liberal culture is permeated so strongly that
It's
literally it's
just on
it's like
TV.
watching a normal fucking sex scene on television now.
Yeah,
Just, yeah.
That's what I think.
That's what it felt like.
That's
that
what
was
I
the
think.
vibe. He wasn't
Yeah.
acting like it was porn.
Yeah, that's
like,
exactly. He wasn't
like,
acting like it was porn. Yeah, he
Yeah.
wasn't doing anything.
It felt like it was just a sex scene on TV.
Because even if you like watch Queer as Folk back in the 2000s,
Oh, yeah.
you didn't get anything that fucking graphic. like you literally saw a guy rip a guy's pants down and then he was wearing a fucking
but
jock
at the
strap
end of the
of all
day,
things.
like, why not? Why does it have to be liberal culture? If we can have straight
No.
sex scenes, why
No.
not gay sex scenes?
I'm not saying we can't. What I'm saying is within the context of this movie,
Yeah.
right? Redford's been so successful in creating a place of equality
Yeah.
that there's no more differentiation
right.
between straight sex scenes and gay sex
So
scenes.
so we have this like ultra male character who doesn't mind watching gay sex on TV.
I just think it's become normalized.
yeah.
Like you're no longer like no one could, somebody, some ignorant individual could no longer call you gay because you watched a gay sex scene for 3 minutes.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? That's what I'm trying to say, right?
I think that's good though. That's
I think that's good too. Like I don't see the fucking big deal.
The dialogue was corny on Minuteman, though.
Oh
let me tell
yeah,
you.
I think that was the point. I think it was supposed to be like Batman and Robin was back in the day. That's
I
the
don't
vibe
know
I
about
got
that.
from that show.
I
He says like,
don't
I
know
think
about
you're
that.
beautiful under that mask, and I was like, oh, okay.
And we did hear PD say how bad the show was. He was
PD.
complaining
Yeah, PD
Yeah.
did say
about it
not
being
accurate.
total crap.
That's true. That's true. That's definitely true. But yeah, so the other thing we learn about Looking Glass is he's literally wearing something around his head the entire fucking time. It doesn't matter what he's doing. Sleeping, eating, probably jerking off, whatever the fuck he wants to do. He's always wearing that reflective teen shit.
I was really freaking annoyed that he has that reflective thing when he sleeps, but when he does a heist and like breaks into like the criminal den, he doesn't have a mask on. Like,
he had his hat on though.
Yeah, just a
Yeah.
hat.
Oh, yeah.
But why is his face not covered?
Yeah, that was
Like,
kinda
what's
weird.
wrong with you? You're sleeping with your mask
That was
on.
kind of weird.
You
Yeah.
don't put on your mask when you go into the hive of like the
And he
7th
goes in it-
Cavalry.
and he goes in as a detective
Yeah,
too, right?
I was like,
Right?
what?
Yeah.
And you took their gun? What is wrong with you? Why would you not go in with your own weapon? Like,
Yeah.
why would you take their weapon?
I don't think he had one on him at the time.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
wait for your backup.
I know he
to
did
come.
really jump the gun there, but
No, but he wanted to track them down
Yeah.
too, right? Like he
Jump
didn't want
the
to miss
gun.
the
It was
opportunity.
just bad policing. It was like,
Jump
this
the
is just
gun.
bad policing all
Yeah.
around.
But back, and this is the last thing I'm going to say about that scene on the TV, though. I just looked it up now just because I wanted to be sure. But apparently, this whole thing comes from, so Silk Spectre admitted, like after, so the Silhouette was exposed as a lesbian.
Silhouette, yeah, that's it.
And then the Silk Spectre, and she prompting the Minutemen to vote her out, even though Silk Spectre admits a couple of guys from the team were gay as well. And so someone in 1999 wrote this thing called The True Fate of Hooded Justice and Captain Metropolis, and it kind of it fueled fan interest, like that there was like sort of like a thing. So this could be
That was fan fiction come to life.
Yeah.
okay,
Oh my god.
So I think
That's
it was like fan
amazing.
fiction,
Oh my god.
right?
That's so good.
That was my
Yeah.
Bucky and Captain America nightmare. Okay. All right. Interesting.
But anyway, I was like, I need to get to the bottom of this.
Holy shit. That's
but that
interesting.
happens, and
Was that in Pedopedia?
I think in Pedopedia kind of goes over it a bit.
Okay.
Um,
We have to do a whole episode on Pedopedias,
Yeah,
by the
we
way.
should.
I know
Yeah.
there's a lot in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he ends up going to his like whole little meeting though. So he kind of runs like
Right.
this
Support
like,
group.
support group,
Yeah.
which is I think it's called Extra Dimensional Anxiety and
Yeah.
You,
Yeah.
right?
Extra dimensional
And they
anxiety
call-
and you.
And they called 11-2, and what this kind of makes me feel like is like 9/11.
Yes.
Right? It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's the same kind of vibe
Yeah.
because people who were there,
Yeah.
obviously it's an event that happened in New York
Yep.
as well, and
And
there
they've done
was a
it-
lot of trauma.
yeah.
And they've done it on other TV series where they've taken two numbers and kind of tried to liken them to to the events of 9/11. Like it's happened on other TV series a lot.
And George Michael, I think, is playing again acoustically.
Interesting.
I think it was playing acoustically here, or in the scene beforehand. I made a note of it. It says George Michael acoustic this time. This is just in the notes I'm taking while watching.
So we get a gay sex scene, not in a bathroom, and then they play George Michael. Okay.
Yeah, as one does. It could have been at that scene. I don't remember.
Interesting.
But I think what's really interesting about the scene is that he's helping people, even though he's still not past it. And I think oftentimes when people need help, they help others to kind of help themselves.
100%.
Because he was like, I was like you, but like I was in this tunnel, but like every tunnel ends in light.
Yeah.
But has he seen the light yet?
No, obviously not.
And then we'll see like this other guy. He's like, my mom was going through it, but it's like generational.
Yeah.
That was interesting. He was saying
that
he
was
inherited it, and he drew a whole comparison to genes and stuff. So obviously genetics is like a huge thing in this world too.
Yeah. And I really think Damon's having a lot of fun with these premises, because he did the same thing in The Leftovers. Like The Leftovers is also a very existential event, right? We're talking about the what do you call it?
I actually haven't seen it.
Oh no, but like the religious thing when people disappear. What's it called?
Religious thing where people disappear.
The Bible, like when
the second coming.
No. When they disappear. No.
What?
The fuck's it called?
When people disappear.
Not the what's it called? The
second,
rapture.
Oh, the rapture.
Yeah, that's what it's called. So
okay.
so people think what happened was the rapture, right? Yeah. And it leaves the world in a place where they're actually trying to explain what happened. Because let's fucking face it, if half the fucking population disappeared tomorrow, everybody's gonna have their own explanation.
Then it would be the Avengers.
Fuck, it was Thanos, guys.
Yeah, legit.
Fucking Thanos.
And then people would watch like the Avenger movies like hundreds of years from now and think they're like actual scenes.
Exactly. But
yeah, no, people would have their own theories.
So there were support groups in the context of The Leftovers that were supporting people who suffered loss because of the rapture. So I'm not surprised that Lindelof is doing this again, because honestly, I like to see how people adjust to trauma and how people adjust to crises. And it tells me more about their character,
and
the way that they do it.
It's so individualistic, like how you respond to trauma.
100%.
Like a person can go through like the same event and completely turn out different.
Yeah.
And it's interesting.
Yep.
And it's nice to see that he does seem like he's care. Like I feel like he wants to be better than he is.
Yep.
Like I don't think he wants to be like this. And then he ends up like meeting that woman, and this woman is like, this is like all bullshit.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And she's like, follow me in my car. Because like,
And she...
He did it again. I was like, why are you following a woman?
Exactly.
Yeah, bro. What is wrong with you?
Exactly.
Stop doing that.
Okay, listen. I don't think the guy gets laid a lot. Okay?
He's got some game.
He could. If he just like... It's just his mustache or beard or whatever. If he did something different...
No, I think that's in Tulsa maybe, where he's from.
I knew somebody was going to say something
like
about his goddamn
there.
mustache.
But the fact, it's interesting how he kind of falls into this again.
Yeah.
In a sense. And because it does seem a little too good to be true. You know what I mean?
Of course it does. It happens. Like she's there like, follow me.
It's like his character
like,
flaw.
That's literally the story of following the white rabbit down the fucking hole.
Yeah.
When a blonde says to you, follow me. Like that's literally the same fucking thing, right?
Well, here we kind of see his skills on display, because he talks like, it's funny when
is that what Alice in Wonderland taught you not to do?
Not to follow blondes down a hole.
Anyway, that could go in a lot of different ways there. I'm gonna take it back to the episode, and once Christina calms down.
You got the premise of Alice in Wonderland wrong. She follows a bunny down a hole.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well.
She doesn't. The guys don't follow her down a hole. Which one were you watching?
I wasn't sure what you were saying there.
The one from the 70s with a lot of pubic hair? Is that the one you were watching?
No, I just wasn't sure where you were going with that.
Okay, all right. Just checking.
I didn't see that one.
That sounds like you saw that sounds like you saw the porn version.
I may have.
Yeah.
We watched a lot of superhero and Disney porns.
Oh, that's that's a side story for sure.
Only because they're funny. Like the Orgasmo porn, it's funny.
Orgasmo was a comedy. It wasn't a porno.
Oh, okay, whatever.
Like literally no idea what you're talking about.
There was also Pirates. That was hilarious. Me and my friends watched Pirates.
Oh, there's pirate porn. Yeah, there's definitely pirate porn. I've seen pirate porn before.
It was basically Pirates of the Caribbean, but like a comedy
send it to Chris.
Parody porn version, and it was
send it to Chris.
funny.
I'm sure he'll enjoy it.
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
anyway,
Back on.
okay.
Okay. So this is the thing I was going to point out that I thought was interesting.
Sure.
Was that she was like, guess what I am? And she's like, I'm this. And he's like, no, you're not. Try again. And I was like, damn, Looking Glass. Like,
Yeah, I
you're
was
flirting a
dope.
bit.
Yeah, I was
And
dope.
then she's like, I'm a radiologist. And it's funny because she starts talking about her trauma, right?
Yeah.
And her trauma isn't even from being there. It's from this movie that is called Pale Horse, and
I
it's
love this.
Schindler's List.
Yes.
As soon as she said,
Exactly.
because as soon as she was like, it's like all black and white.
There's
and
a girl
Steven
in red
Spielberg,
dress.
a girl in red dress. I was like, is this Schindler's List?
Fucking what the fuck?
Right? Is Pale Horse now?
How does he not get in trouble? How does he not get in trouble for this?
I don't know. I don't think Spielberg will be like, change that.
No. I don't think he's gonna be like, change that. But there's got to be some fucking social
Yeah.
justice warrior somewhere where he's like, how dare you appropriate,
No,
this film about the Holocaust?
I think with this, it's like, because it's a different universe. And
Yeah.
has the Holocaust happened in this?
Oh, we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know what historical events are.
Yeah,
have
there's
occurred.
something to
Holy
look
shit.
into, what historical
Yeah.
events
Yeah,
have
yeah.
happened. Because I feel like there was a Vietnam War, so I don't know why there wouldn't be like a World War I or II. Like there was,
Right.
but Dr. Manhattan won it, so I
Right.
don't know like what, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
he won
it-
Vietnam.
It feels
I
like
don't know.
history's the same.
No, he
up
won
until-
Vietnam like single-handedly. Like he
Yeah.
literally showed up, turned giant, and started
Yeah.
vaporizing.
So I think we can
Viet
assume
Cong.
historical events are the same up until Vietnam.
I don't know, dude. Like,
Yeah, that's
I
something to
really
look
don't
into,
know
actually.
because like the fact that this movie is now basically the same visual aesthetic
Yeah.
as Schindler's List.
which is like very much about the Holocaust.
Very much about the Holocaust.
It's
Like
the
literally
only thing
is the
that's
Holocaust.
about-
Well,
Yeah.
they didn't say
Yeah.
that the other movie doesn't exist. They just said that
But
Spielberg did this other movie called
Right.
Pale
Yeah, but the way
Horse.
that they were describing it was like
Yeah.
the exact, like that scene.
It's
in
the
Schindler's
visual
List is
language
so-
of Schindler's List.
is
which
like
he
yeah.
could have done in this theoretical context
exactly.
Sure.
without erasing the first movie.
Sure,
Right?
but
So-
but it was interesting that they used that without a doubt. Very interesting writing, 100%.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys recognize the woman, but she's fucking HBO royalty. Like,
She seems so familiar.
I don't
I've
know
seen
her.
her. And
yeah,
stuff.
she's
I don't know her name.
she's Ray Donovan's wife in Ray Donovan. That's Showtime. But she played Trixie in Deadwood for the entire series and the movie, and she's an amazing actress. Amazing actress.
She was really
I
good.
liked her. Yeah.
Yeah, she's great.
The other thing that's interesting is cigarettes are like illegal.
Yeah.
She's like,
Oh,
oh,
that
like
was
you're gonna
great.
like call
Yeah.
me if this is like, are they smoking weed? And
Yeah.
then I was like, oh, it's cigarettes.
She's
Okay,
like, it's
interesting.
just
Yeah.
tobacco.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's contraband.
Yeah.
That's so interesting that this actor bans cigarettes.
Yeah. And the
Yeah.
comment that they knew that sugar gives you cancer too, because they were talking about the kids' cereals,
Yeah.
and Looking Glass was like, he was talking about like he gets diabetes, overweight, blah 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 blah, and the big C. So they've done the
Oh.
research to figure out that sugar is actually connected to cancer.
Well, I think anything in excess is connected to cancer.
That's a good
so-
point.
Yeah.
Good point.
But it is, yeah. She kind of has this like vibe that he's like really dicking. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
he picked up. Oh yeah, he's
he
fucking liking
picked-
her a lot.
Yeah, he likes badass women. That's his problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or dangerous women.
that is true.
Yeah.
But then
Which is weird because he's such a cautious guy.
Yeah.
But I think that makes
Well,
sense.
his
and
ex-wife was barbecuing puppies. Like,
Yeah.
she's definitely got an edge to her, right?
I think that kind of makes sense in his character. But the one thing is though,
He didn't even flinch. He
You
didn't
didn't
even
just
react.
watch her throw the dog in the
I
incinerator.
know that was
Sorry,
crazy.
sorry.
He didn't
No, it's
even
okay.
care.
Sorry, let's go back to
No, the only thing I was gonna say is like it all kind of comes crashing down.
yeah.
When the car leaves and like lettuce falls out
Just-
of it.
yeah.
Just like a piece of lettuce just falls over.
Fucking stalk of lettuce out of a truck.
And then
yeah.
he calls, them in. And this is where it gets like to me, I'm like, yo, you're a cop, like you need to plan properly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
bro.
Like, I was like, where are your policing
Where's your backup?
skill? Like,
Yeah.
okay, you're
Yeah.
this master interrogator, but,
but
you can't
wait.
do like basic police work.
Oh, but wait, he like his radio signal got jumped.
So
by,
he radioed for backup.
but it went to 7th Cavalry.
Right, he didn't know that yet, but
Yeah.
he also didn't wait for his backup.
No, he didn't. But he might have thought that
Which
they were
we
gonna.
see a lot in cop
Sure.
movies, but in the real world, you're
Yeah.
gonna wait for your fucking
But
backup.
in terms of this, it would have never came.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So there's
exactly.
that.
That's why you're gonna wait for
Yeah.
your backup if it's the real world. But
Yeah, but
okay.
maybe he thought he might miss the opportunity. That's probably why he went in. And
So
he
he
found
goes
a,
in without
and-
his mask,
and he
without
found a
his
weapon.
gun,
And he found a weapon.
knowing that it's 7th Cavalry.
Christine was like, this is ridiculous. Like,
it is
I'm so mad.
ridiculous. He's a master detective. Like, what the fuck?
I don't know
was
if he's
like-
a master
It was
detective.
upsetting. I was upset.
He just joined the force during the White Night. We found out, so I don't think.
Yeah,
he's a
that's
master
something we didn't talk
detective.
about.
Which
He joined-
is still several
he-
years.
He joined
Is it
during the
7
White
years?
Night.
several years.
Is it 7 years?
There's been a
Several.
few. Several. It's been a few. And the other thing we kind of didn't mention as much is that, like, the reason he joined the Force, and this is something Laurie figured out, is that so he could wear that, like, that sort of protective thing the whole time. Because he was so paranoid. He's like, this is my out. I can make a mask out of this, like, weird sort of material that will protect me, right? So that was his reason for joining. Like, he wasn't a cop before that.
Don't you think it's a jump in logic, though? Like, don't you think it's a really big leap? Because, like, she's making the assumption that one of his main motivations to join something where he would risk his life daily is because he wants to wear a reflectine mask.
Yeah, it seems like a jump.
It seems like a jump to me.
I
like,
don't know. Paranoia works in weird ways.
It kind of felt like bad writing to me. That was one of the main things that popped out to me. I was like, that doesn't jive.
Honestly,
like,
I didn't even catch that line.
You didn't catch it?
I didn't notice.
No, that one didn't jive with me at all.
Yeah.
Just like, I wouldn't I couldn't write that and justify it. I just don't know.
Well, to me, like, if Looking Glass was not such a cautious person, then his weird cop actions might not bother me so much. But the fact that he's so cautious at home, I just don't think he would run into this, like, warehouse after the 7th Cavalry. Like, it didn't seem to fit his character to me.
It seemed like an Angela thing to do.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
That's true.
Yeah,
Angela
like,
would
didn't.
She's more impulsive. She's more impulsive.
But yeah, it was too
Yeah.
impulsive
Yeah.
for Looking Glass.
But he ends up going in there.
Yeah.
And then he sees, like, first of all, he finds the church, which is something Laurie Blake was like, we need to find that church.
Yeah, she said
right?
that in the first act, yeah.
Yeah, and so they go in there, and he sees the church, and then he just sees, like, these balls being dropped from what seems to be
basketballs falling out of the sky
from a different, like, from a dimension. I'm
Yeah.
doing air quotes right now,
Yeah.
right? Which is interesting because I'm like, what are they trying to do? Like, my thing is, like, what are they going to use this for? Are they planning another sort of squid-like attack? Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And the fact that there's, like, no one's there, and he's kind of, like, sneaking his way through, and he has this gun, and he sees, like, all these people there, and he's terrified because this is his biggest fear. It's like you're opening a gateway to a dimension.
Yeah.
Like, his whole life has been sort of shaped by this thing where the squid came from another dimension.
Fighting and preparing for the next one, yeah.
And you're, like, inviting one in.
Yeah. Yeah, or anything else, right? Like he just knows that there's other dimensions now. Well, in his mind, he knows there's other dimensions. And to see somebody fucking around with this technology is terrifying the shit out of him. He even knows what the fucking gate's called. Like, he actually knows the number and the model number of what they're using. Yeah. Like, he actually knows that shit.
Well, because if you're a conspiracy guy or whatever, you would.
Yeah, you would. Well, yeah. or that if you were just being vigilant, right?
Yeah.
If you're the vigilant type, because obviously he is. He's trying to fucking protect himself, right?
And someone brings it up in one of his meeting. Actually, this guy is like, "There's squids falling from the sky," and no one thinks it's like no one is talking about how weird this is.
Right.
Right. And it is like it's so strange.
The woman makes the point too. Like, she's like, why are we just, whenever these squids fall, all we do is turn on our wipers and
I think she said it. Yeah.
And and then we just go about our day. Like, what the fuck is like what the fuck are we doing? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me, right?
That's what I said after episode 1. I was kind of annoyed.
I was like, yeah, that's so, like, they became so used to it.
Yeah.
But he goes there. He, like, has the gun out. She's like, don't shoot. He goes to shoot. Obviously, there's no bullets in it. Mm-hmm. And then he kind of finds out, like, they got the radio, so, like, no one's coming.
Yep.
And he gets taken to this room, and someone removes their mask, and it's Senator Keene.
Yep.
And this is where it dives deeper into, like, what the 7th Cavalry represents, and who are who are the sheep, who are, like, the pawns, and who are the ones who are actually controlling them, whatever is going on.
Yep.
Right? Because I can totally believe that there's pawns who are, like, under this guise of, like, what is really, like, white supremacy for sure.
Right.
But there's this weird thing because he's saying, like, Judd had his own unit or something.
There's different units.
Yeah,
and they're led by
units.
different people.
Yeah.
It's so crazy to me that it's not. I don't know if I expected his face to be underneath that mask.
I didn't expect it to
as soon as I heard the voice.
I knew he was up to something. I just didn't expect it to be 7th Cavalry. I didn't expect him to
like
be
the
that.
voice for sure, like from then you knew, but like I like before that, like if you were like like wouldn't think he would infiltrate himself that much. Like I had a belief that he had some in with the 7th Cavalry because when they came to kidnap him at the funeral, like it was so weird and like seemed so staged.
Yeah.
So I thought there was like he was kind of like over the shoulder, like kind of had strings like a puppeteer.
Right.
But to actually like be there and like, oh, like I'm actually wearing a mask.
Yeah, I think he was wearing a mask just for the sake of Looking Glass when he arrived. right? Instead of the shock of getting there and seeing that guy's face and be like, what the fuck are you doing here? They kind of had him masked so they could kind of walk him through the entire charade, right? The dimensional window, the basketballs, the whole idea that he thought that he had that he had the element of surprise on these guys. Like, if he walks in and he sees Keen, like, he's gonna be like, what the fuck, guys?
So then this is a sidebar question, I guess. So for Senator Keen and Judd, then do you think that they are both like white supremacists as well, or they have a secret agenda and they're using the 7th Cavalry to get that done?
It seemed to me more like they're just using the 7th Cavalry to get their agenda done. But obviously they don't have a problem with it. They're okay with white supremacy being
the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that happens with like a lot of these groups where you find these movements and you see these people, like Karl Marx kind of said something like, religion is the opiate of the people, the sigh of the oppressed,
right?
The whatever. So when you have hopeless people, they will do anything for that faith or hope. And not bad talking religion, because I am also like kind of a religious person, but I'm just saying that these people like kind of find meaning in what they want. So this person's like, I'm rallying you guys, like, and so you are behind this cause, and so that's all you care about. Whereas like the puppeteer, like the people who are controlling it are different. I think we see that a lot in like
you see it all the time. You see it all the time in protests and things too.
Yeah.
Like protests that are meant to start off as peaceful often get infiltrated by people with other interests or professional interests, and the vibe of the protest can change so quickly.
Yeah, agent provocateurs. It happens all the time. Yeah, without a doubt.
Like you see it a lot with environmental protests. Like they're meant to be peaceful, and then all of a sudden, like people have other political agendas tied to whatever the environmental agenda is, and then you can see those get hijacked.
Yeah, or they're there to kind of turn the group in a violent direction to delegitimize them, right? At the same time.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have people who oppose the protests, and then they try to take the cause down by making it violent.
Yeah, no, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So we basically, Keen explains to Looking Glass that I don't know if you guys have heard this story, but there's people make the joke that when you become president, they show you
like a video.
They show you a film of the Kennedy assassination from a couple of different angles to show you how it really went down.
Oh,
and they're
that's
like,
interesting. I never knew that.
Well, no, it's.
I had never heard that rumor.
It's speculation. It came from a comedy routine that Bill Hicks used to do.
Oh, okay.
And Bill Hicks would always say, like, pull you into a room, they turn on a projector, and they show you an angle of the Kennedy assassination that nobody's ever seen before, which then tells you that the government was behind it. So when you don't do what you're told, you get your fucking head blown off, right?
Yeah.
So it just creates this sense of fear in people who feel like they want to be the agent of change, right? And it stops people from taking action against the things that they do want to change, right? So Keen kind of gives you this speech that is very similar to that, and he shows them this disc, and it's fucking Ozymandias.
I know.
Explaining the entire hoax.
I wonder, does everyone get to see? Like, how high up do you have to be to see that?
I don't think all the cavalry members have seen it, to be honest.
I would say only the leaders. I would say none of like other cavalry members.
Yeah, I feel, and he said like he's not even supposed to have it. He burned this from his like private office or whatever.
Yeah,
but it did seem like the blonde girl knew about it. The blonde seemed to understand.
I think the blonde knew something.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether it was Keen.
Well, she is saying, "Oh, we're gonna show you the truth." And whatnot. So it seems like she knows what the truth is if she believes in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know,
believes
man.
In this cause. So who knows? Maybe all the 7th Cavalry get to see this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think like the members would. I think like they're just under the guise of like, we're doing this thing. And there's like 7th Cavalry's kind of been in and out of the episodes. Like I remember seeing them in the first episode and they're collecting batteries. Like they're trying to do something, right? Like there's a lot of stuff we still don't know like about them. But one thing that is crazy is that like you see this video and you basically see a man like who like his life was traumatized by this. Like I don't know how many years it's been, like 40 years of his life. And to see this whole thing, like to realize that this was like all a hoax, that this was planned, that he knew about the traumatic events that people would face and all this stuff. And you just see him like, You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that.
It was the
feeling.
Truman event. You know, it was the Truman Show.
It was like the Truman Show.
You know, it was like when he realizes that he's been in a
his world came apart,
collapsed on him. Like his whole understanding of the world around him was bullshit.
I
Like,
loved
he
this
completely-
element of the comic, and I love that they brought this back into the show.
The squid?
Yeah. Like,
Okay.
and the fact that it was a hoax.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I love that this is coming out in the show in this way.
Yeah, no. It was an interesting, idea. It was, something that kind of took people's attention away from worrying about destroying each other with nuclear weapons to fighting one opposing force, right?
And it's so elaborate. It's like
Right.
such a crazy, elaborate thing to do, and like
Well, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, it is so elaborate and crazy, and it seems so off the top of my, like, out of like the norm of like what anything you would ever expect to like stop something. It's like, whose idea is like, oh, a giant squid, that'll stop the nuclear holocaust, like that'll be it.
Well, Reagan, Reagan in our time actually gave a speech when he said, like, if we were to be threatened by a force from outside worlds, how quickly would we all come together?
Yeah.
To oppose that force,
And people
right?
were really scared.
And
of
I think that's where they got the
aliens.
idea for this. Is like like that speech is what inspired this whole hoax idea.
And
to
there were so many Martian movies where like these crazy angry aliens come from space to kill everyone. Like that was a thing that was happening in the 60s and 70s. So at the same time as the Cold War. So it was something that people really were scared of, and that's why there was space programs and all that as well.
Yeah, and people like if you look into those, if you look into that, if you look at the space of time that happened between the War of the Worlds broadcasts, where people were actually fucking convinced
that it was like actually
aliens
happening.
had landed, and people were committing suicide, and mass like family suicides and family murder suicides, like it's not that it's not a lot of time between those years, right? Like, I have grandparents who heard that shit. Well, I had grandparents who heard that shit.
So it fits. It was a real fear at the time. So it would make sense. And it's just interesting that it was a squid instead of an alien, but they made everyone believe it was an alien.
A dimensional squid.
That as well as now, if we're going back to like sort of the show itself, how much of that informs what he does to Angela next? Because Senator Keene says to him, like, listen, like, she's getting in the way right now. Like,
he's broken. He's done.
Yeah. But my theory is this. So we get to the scene, and he knows that Cactus is bugged. And so that whole time that's happening, I'm like,
so we don't know if he's helping Blake or if he's helping the 7th Cavalry at this
or
point.
if he's helping Angela. And my thing is this, like, wouldn't Angela be safer kind of locked up instead of, like, by Blake than by the 7th Cavalry? You know what I mean?
Maybe. Oh, because he did. Yeah, because Keene did threaten her.
Yeah.
Oh, that's something we did totally gloss over.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like Keene literally said, you need to pull Angela off the board, or I have to let these racist Okies go out and kill her entire family and her. Right?
He says, I'm sorry to her.
Yeah.
He says, like, I'm sorry. Like, he doesn't want to do it.
Well, clearly he's doing what he was told to do by Keene to save Angela's life, right?
Yeah.
He made a strategic decision to put her out of play.
Yeah.
Right? She can't investigate if she's behind bars.
And Blake's like not like Blake is not going to kill her.
No.
Like Blake just won't she won't
do
that.
No.
Yeah.
So the end, his end game is to save her life. I think that's why he did what he did. He also did give her the pills too.
Yeah, the nostalgia.
It's not like he held on to them and then did it to her.
And in the preview, it seems like she takes one. If you see the preview for the next episode.
I didn't see the preview for the next one.
She's like in Will's memories.
Oh shit.
Which I'm so excited for that episode.
I thought she took the whole bottle. It looked to me like she just gulped the whole bottle down.
Oh, did she?
Yeah,
she did. She fucking chugged them.
Yeah, she chugged the whole bottle of memories.
Well,
so she's gonna be in some kind of psychotic.
I feel like
state
so many answers will be next episode.
Yeah.
Wow, that's gonna be gnarly.
So we're gonna get some of Will's past, I think, in the next.
Also,
episode.
in that scene too, like Panda and Red Scare, I like how they're work friends because they're like also talking in that scene.
Yeah,
like they're just like, you know what I mean? They're talking about the Hooded Justin. And
I love how they were fan theorying about Hooded.
And they said Dr. Manhattan could time travel. They said that.
No. They were speculating that he could.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were speculating that he could, and that Dr. Manhattan, like, Panda's theory was that Dr. Manhattan was Hooded Justice.
Oh, interesting.
And then Red Scare was like, no, we can't time. he can't time travel. That's why I like that scene, because it was literally two fanboys
just
arguing over power sets.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's
something we didn't bring up yet, though. We didn't talk about Adrian Veidt.
No, we're gonna talk about Adrian for sure.
Oh yeah, so some of our theories
because that's
true.
the end scene, right? Like,
is
what
the
fuck?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, I don't know if we can say our theories are true, because I still don't know what the fuck happened.
Well, we were speculating about whether he was on the moon or Mars.
Chris said the moon.
Yeah,
but is he on
one
of Jupiter's moons or the moon?
Oh, yeah, that did look like Jupiter,
right?
Actually.
Because Chris was like, I think he's on the moon, and Jupiter has like how many moons? Like 30 or 40, 50? I don't even know.
I think it's 4.
No, Jupiter has like a lot of moons,
really?
like an insane amount.
Yeah, Europa and yeah.
Okay, so it has 4 that are like central moons.
They probably have like 4 big moons and then a whole bunch of tiny ones. But that's what Chris was saying last episode, was that like he's on the moon, and we kind of thought that he was in space, and because he's going out into something, and I was kind of theorizing as well, like he was somewhere in space. I was like, maybe it's Mars.
Yeah, it looked like Mars, but you're right, it could be Jupiter. That would make it crazier if he was like on the outskirts of the galaxy.
But we were kind of right about the spacesuit, because I was like, it's definitely a spacesuit. And then he gets pulled back in by the game warden. That is also Philip. Like, just like really, like, you know,
Phillips.
he can't escape it.
Oh, he's Phillips too?
Wasn't he Phillips?
I don't know. I don't know.
With Phillips with a stash. Wasn't he Phillips with a stash?
Is that him, really?
I think so. I don't know.
Oh,
We're going to have to go back
take a second look at that.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I thought that's what he looked like. But the fact that he's out and he has freedom and he sends that thing, like, help.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah. He sends a message with the bodies.
And I want, like, who would be the one person to see that? I think Lady True.
Dr. Manhattan.
Dr. Manhattan or Lady True.
Lady True is probably somebody that could fucking see that shit.
Because she has that, like, that tower thing, whatever.
Yeah,
she's definitely got satellites and shit, without a doubt. Yeah. Okay, so where the fuck is he?
I think he's on either the moon or one of Jupiter's moons.
I think he's on a moon.
Okay, but we're talking about where's the house? Like in like what is
it's
that?
Like a
is it a bubble?
Field. Yeah, it's like a space-time bubble.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe like they just terraform that part of the planet. No.
Or is it something constructed in Manhattan? Like, is Manhattan getting back at Ozymandias?
No, I think he's definitely on the moon, because we have that one shot from one of the episodes where it's the telescope and it zooms into the moon.
It just seems so
it's
close.
a moon. It's a moon or the moon.
Sure, but it looks like the fucking English countryside.
It does.
Right?
It's like a space-time
the bubble. Yeah.
Because we saw last episode, he kept like flinging people and they kept disappearing.
Yeah, they kept disappearing for sure.
Right? So he's in a strange sort of bubble.
Yeah, but how did he get there? And
we're going to find out.
Who fucking knows?
And we don't know what the bubble is.
Do you guys think Manhattan made it?
Here's the thing. Someone brought this up to me recently, and I think it's a good point. Manhattan is not the type of person to do things just for doing things. Like, he wouldn't be like, I'm going to do this to Adrian Veidt, because it'd be real funny.
That's true.
Unless it was a prison.
But like, because then he would just put him in a prison, though. Like, he's very, like, a literal man.
No, he would disintegrate him if he was really a problem.
That's what I'm thinking, because it's
what he did to Rorschach.
Like, Manhattan has to have, like, a reason to do this, and what would that be? Because he's very, like, everything is reason. Like, he doesn't do things off of feelings.
Yeah, right.
So unless there was a reason to trick Veidt into thinking that he was... living in the English countryside for whatever reason.
The only thing I could think of is like Lady True maybe setting up something, because I still think at the end of the last episode when we see that thing from space fall down, I think that's Adrian Veidt. Like, I think that's him coming down from like space and landing, because we don't know like the time frame for that, because we know we're kind of in the past, because it's only been like a few years for him. So it's like, I don't know. Like, I have theories around that. Per se, I don't know how he got there though.
And we get the feeling that she has something with the moon, so it makes sense that he's on the moon. She has a thing with the moon.
Well, she
has a statue of him.
One thing I'm definite about is that all the Adrian Veidt story we've seen is all disconnected. It's all non-linear, 100%.
Well, we get the linearity in the candles. Saba has been counting the candles on his cake.
That's what I've been doing too. But I also think that we're talking years and years between. I don't think we're getting consistent.
How many candles were on his
There's
cake?
3 so far.
Oh, okay, and there was 4 before. So we're
there was 4 last week.
Yeah, there was 4
There was a cake last week?
Yeah.
Was there?
There was 4
No, I gotta go back.
The last time we counted the candles.
I don't remember a cake in the Lady True episode.
Well, last time we counted the candles on his cake, there were 4. So this is before whatever happened last time.
Okay, so I definitely don't think it's linear storytelling where we're actually seeing time as as it's passed. Like it actually passes.
Oh, we know we're jumping
right?
around too, because I
We are,
got
without a doubt.
confused with that, and then Chris had to correct me.
Yeah.
So.
Without a doubt, it's jumping around. Like it's not linear storytelling at this time. Wow. Okay. Fuck, man.
I know, right? There's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
And
So,
I really like this episode.
No.
Like,
I'm really enjoying this series.
Yeah.
Really enjoying it, and I don't know why people can't just give up their nostalgic, thirst for something to connect this back to the world of, the Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons comic book. I love that piece of literature. I think it's fantastic. But this is a great property on its own.
They
like,
connected
it's fantastic.
it in so many ways. Like, we still have the squids and stuff.
I know, but people are still, they're crying about, like, just the way that it's not continuing on the storyline. But I was making the point to Saba, could you really continue on this story?
Yeah, it wasn't itself a complete story. I don't think we could continue from there.
Well, the way that I saw it end was the end, right?
Yeah.
Like, they fucking disintegrated Rorschach. Dr. Manhattan left for fucking Mars. Ozymandias was outed in terms of his plan, right? He was figured out, and he gets to go back into the world and live as he wants.
Well, I like that we have new characters. I like that we're seeing the aftermath of everything that happened.
Yeah.
We're seeing how people are living in this new world that was created.
Yeah.
So I think that was the perfect direction to go in. I think you're right. I don't think they could have continued.
I don't think they could have continued.
There's one thing that we kind of left out. The very last scene of the episode is the 7th Cavalry members going to
Looking Glass's house.
Oh, I didn't miss
Yeah,
that.
he got his shipment on his doorstep. He picked it up, took it to the recycling bin, threw it out, picked it up again, took it back inside.
Because it's hard to get over it,
and then the van showed up, and then the guys came out with shotguns.
Oh. We don't know if he's alive or dead or anything.
Yeah, we have no idea. You have no idea what the fuck's happening with him.
He could be dead.
I feel like he could be. Senator Keene probably showed him that, knowing what he'd do, and be like, but he can't know that information. Because he's not like high clearance enough, so kill him as soon as he does what we need him to do. Kill him.
He had a feeling he was gonna die anyway. He said, "You guys are gonna kill me."
Or maybe Keene heard how he got Angela off the board, and that was not acceptable to him.
That could be it. Like
getting him arrested was not.
He could die.
No. He definitely could die. I think anybody could fucking die.
He's not essential to the story anymore at this point.
Maybe I don't know.
Maybe this was our goodbye to him. I don't know, but I
hope
think
not. I love this character.
I think that Senator Keene would not be happy with that way, because I don't think, like, Laurie Blake, I think he sent there more for looks. It's like, look, I'm sending the best of the best down to figure it out.
Yeah.
But Laurie Blake, like I said, is not going to kill Angela. And if Angela's like, I think I know something and something's fishy's going on, Laurie Blake is going to be like, okay, let's figure this out.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know.
Yeah.
And she's not one to be pushed around by anyone as well.
Yeah, she's definitely going to interrogate Angela, but Angela's going to be crazy right now, so she's not going to get any answers.
And the preview looks crazy because it's like we're going to be in Will's memories next episode, I'm very sure. And I think we're going to get a lot of answers, because one thing, like, I'm like, who is he? What is his life? What will happen to that little girl that he was with? We
had a lot of questions. So
yeah, the little girl. Yeah, that's something. Like, so okay, we're 5 episodes in. I think there's 9 in total or 10 in total.
A lot has happened in these 5
episodes. A lot's happened.
There's a lot of storytelling here.
Are we confident that Lindelof is going to pay off?
Because it's a 1-season story.
Yeah.
I think so. I think the issue is when you have stories with multiple seasons and you're trying to create storylines.
Yeah.
But if you've created a story from beginning to end, because I feel like sometimes in this show, and this is kind of an issue I've been having, is I feel like sometimes I get disconnect from like some of the things that are going on, and there is a lot going on. There's like a lot of threads to connect at this point. So I can kind of feel it there, and I'm hoping they do pay off. And I'm like, I hope you don't forget about these things.
I like that the episodes are focused on like building certain aspects of the world. So it seems like every episode has been focused on building a part of the story, and we're seeing the story come together now, I think, in these episodes.
Yeah, good point.
So, and I don't think we're going to see any more new characters. I think we've been introduced to all the new characters, and I think we're going to see what happens with.
Well, I think I definitely think we're going to get another glimpse at Dr. Manhattan at some point, but
yeah, we saw him in like the very first trailer of the show. I feel like we saw him like a second of him
on Mars building that house or whatever.
But no, in the trailer of the actual like show when the show was coming out, didn't we? I don't know.
Can't remember.
He definitely exists. He's out there.
Well, people have phone booths built for him, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Man, a lot of yawns going around.
Yeah.
Guys.
Okay, so we do film this after we complete a full day of work. So
That's true.
or
That's
we
true.
record.
That's true. That's how dedicated we are. We're
work
coming
day.
here at nighttime. Yeah, cool, man. So I'm excited to see where this thing goes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely interested in seeing this nostalgia episode because I remember one of the best episodes of Leftovers was the main character going back into, I guess you could call it the afterlife or the between life, and they made him into a secret agent.
Oh,
it was kind of cool.
Spoilers. I've never seen the show.
It's a good show. You should watch it. It's fantastic. Really, really loved it. I really would have liked if they had more of the cast from the Leftovers in this show. I think they would have been amazing. I could definitely see Carrie. So Carrie Coon was a major player in the Leftovers. I think she would have been great as Detective Blake. I think she would have been amazing as Detective Blake.
Yeah,
However, I really like Jean Smart.
Yeah,
Jean Smart's doing a great job.
She's great.
And I've seen her in other stuff, and I actually I'm really starting to respect her as an actress because when she did her run on Frasier, it was such a departure from what people got to see her in Designing Women and all the other shit that she did. And to see her as this character, it's definitely showing me that she has a lot of latitude.
And she's funny.
She's funny.
Like
she's
the
funny
way
as
she
shit.
brings the humor in.
You should see her in Frasier. She's fucking hilarious. Like,
Wait,
she's really funny.
Is she Frasier's like assistant or whatever?
No, she's Frasier's girlfriend at one point.
Oh, okay.
She's like this single mom. She's the high school hot girl after like a job and kids and the whole nine, and she kind of goes off the fucking rails. She's one of these moms that like literally yells at the top of her lungs at her kids in public.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I used to watch Frasier, but yeah.
I love Frasier. Frasier's fantastic.
I think I was very young when I used to watch it, so I don't remember all the stuff, and I'm pretty sure a lot of the jokes were over my head. I was like 12.
Frasier is one of the best sitcoms ever on television. So
I used
good.
to watch it with my mom, though.
So good.
I think my older brother watched it, so from that I kind of remember.
Yeah.
Like I remember sitting there and watching it.
Yeah, like I remember watching it.
I remember the brother.
I know I didn't get
with
it.
the
I know I
accent.
didn't get everything.
Yeah, Niles. He didn't
Niles.
really have an accent. It was more like he had a fucking spoon stuck up his butt.
Oh, okay. One
Silver
of the two.
spoon,
One
but
of the two.
yeah.
Well, it was one of the two.
Yeah, and Daphne, the whole
Yeah, I was thinking
relationship
of
with
Daphne.
Daphne.
Had an
Daphne was
accent.
the greatest.
Yeah, Daphne was cool too. Oh, and Martin, the father. Fucking love that guy, man. He was so good. So sad he passed away. Anyways, so let's wrap this up. Thanks you guys for listening in. We're really enjoying the show. We hope you are too. We will be back with an episode for episode 6. And yeah, so stay tuned. This has been Frank.
This is Christina.
This is Saba.
Signing off, guys. Peace.